G'day, this is Blake Ryan running Fabula Ultima role-playing tabletop RPG, or table talk RPG as they say in Japan apparently. That's what I heard recently. Alright, we're trying out Fabula Ultima today. I've got two eager players, or possibly confused players. Alright, so we're just getting the hang of the rules. So, it's fantasy, so if you've ever seen Fairy Tale, Lord of the Rings, Genshin Impact, Final Fantasy, all of that. It's all of those things. All the usual tropes of Middle Ages with magic and monsters. Probably a lot less disease and without the Catholic Church. Yay! Anyway. Now, you had a question about Fabula points.
Yep.
Fabula points, you can, it's like, get the words out, narrative currency. You can spend it for a reroll if you stuff something up. You can also spend it to, I want to add an element to this scene, like maybe the goblin thinks I'm cool and he's going to join our side. Or if you've got a bond, like say you admire Donna's character, you can, and he just missed a roll by one, you can like, no way, there's no way that guy'd fail. That guy's awesome. And so you spend your Fabula point, and he can increase it by your bond, the value of your bond.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you've got to make a speech because it's anime based. Everything's over the top dramatic.
Yep.
And yeah, that's the long and the short of it. And like anytime a big boss comes up, bang, you all get a Fabula point because they want you to spend stuff to make it dramatic. And generally, if a boss comes up, they're pretty tough, so you're going to need it anyway. Okay, so you've taken Cassandra, did you, Donna?
Yeah, I think maybe I'll go with Edgar. If there's only
Okay.
two of us, then maybe we need some thinking and instead of just all out attack. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
So here what you're saying is you want more combat. Okay, no. All right, that's all good. Yes, we're using
who survived, not for long, says Blake.
It was actually a funnel. Here. Don't tell the players. All right, no, it's all good. So, you've both played multiple different role-playing games before, so we don't need to explain any of that shit. That's good. I can get rid of that. Still no word from Michael, so I'll get rid of that. Cut down some windows here. I've got my notes in Microsoft OneNote, and geez, it's good. It's so nice having all these different tabs, and I was doing everything the hard way before with Windows Paint and Notepad. I've joined the 20th ? Century. Okay, so we've got Edgar and Levine. Whoops, hang on. Get rid of some of these windows. All right. So, looking at the picture, how would you describe Edgar, Donna?
I mean, I think obviously a young, tiny man-child person with uncontrollable hair. I think, though, really what we have is this kind of over-exuberance of a lost puppy. Yeah, there's nothing that hope can't get us through, right? Yeah, so I think that is...
Bit of an inventor, bit of a nerd.
Yeah, definitely a nerd. Satchel and, tool belt full of knickknacks, bits and pieces. Probably a pistol or 5, but
So it's not the Matrix. He's not going to pull out a huge pile of guns. but it's probably got a couple. Yeah,
I imagine one is in working order, and the rest have been
yeah,
scavenged for parts or just very interesting things that
yeah. So
in there. But yeah,
mechanically, he's a sharpshooter tinkerer. He's got a couple of levels in both, because in this game you start with 5 levels. All right, so then we've got Levine. How would you describe Levine, Tristan?
She's quite a slender young lady, but she wears the fattest armor she can to accommodate, and yeah, when she's not doing martial training, she'll rest up a little bit, but she's always looking for someone to protect. That's pretty much what she wants to do. But when she puts a helmet on, she's badass, and there's nobody who's going to stop her.
She's not here
the
for
cape
a
helps.
haircut.
The cape helps.
So this is Edgar, and then Levine.
And she's also competing for the messy hair department with a sort of blonde mop.
Yeah, just got out of the shower. Non-dry hair, yep. I remember what it was like to have hair. Oh dear. Let's minimize that. Oh yeah, as usual, X cards on the table, but that shouldn't be a problem. I've played with both of you before. And yeah, so it's not generally, Fabula Ultima is moderate to light. It's not dark. You're not going to be cracking people's skull open and eating their brains to gain their knowledge or anything. This is not Warhammer 40k. But so I can get rid of that. How you know each other? There was a sorcerer that tried to take over your town or your village using demonic imps. Which one of you got a cool scar? And tell us about it.
Definitely Levine. She deserves a cool scar.
All right. Where is it? What's it look like? Is it like jagged, or is it just huge? Or
it is huge. It's across her back. Some tiny little goblin guy tried to climb up onto her back when she didn't have this funky armor, and left a giant scar down her spine. It's healed up considerably, but she still remembers those goblins.
you feel that on a cold morning?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Donna, you looted a sweet-looking amulet. What does it look like?
I think it looks like a sunburst. A sun with a wavy corona around it.
Yep.
And I think there's this kind of pale jewel in the middle that sometimes mysteriously brightens.
Okay. All right, so we'll go back to Tristan in this case. As the sorcerer fled, you took their mask off, but they got away. But was the sorcerer someone you knew, or a stranger, or your doppelganger, or what was it that was striking about them?
I think it was someone I knew from childhood, but their face had been scarred considerably, so I wasn't sure. But I could have sworn it was my uncle.
Okay. Okay. Yes, and dodgy family members is definitely a Japanese anime trope. So that's right. That's right along path, of course. Okay, so you each start with a Fabula point, which you can use to invoke a trait. Well, let's have an example, shall we? So Edgar has a trait, Hope. So maybe someone does a mind spell on Edgar, and they're having trouble, like a fear spell, and it's got to fight it off. And then you could spend the Fabula point to invoke your trait, your theme of hope. That Edgar never gives up. There's always light at the end of the tunnel for Edgar.
Your audio's speeding up for some reason.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're on
halfway
fast
becoming
forward.
a robot.
Unfortunately,
I
not.
thought
No.
it was just me.
Much better.
Okay. Yeah, so you can spend a point to invoke a trait, which is your identity, theme, and origin on the left-hand side of your character sheets. So that way you can get a reroll, and it's narratively makes sense, sort of thing. Okay. So, your friend, a notable sage from the town or village. Oh, okay. Let's go back to basics first. Generally, when you do rolls, you're choosing two stats. Like if it's Dex and Might, you look at the dice for both of those, and you roll them, add them together. And it might be Dex and Dex, or Dex and Might, or Insight and Willpower, whatever your dice you have assigned. You just choose those two dice, roll them, add them together. For damage, you choose the high one that rolled the most, and then add a certain amount, which is listed next to your weapon. It'll be HR 8. So
Cool.
high roll 8, in other words. And that's it. That's most rolls covered right there. Okay, so your friend, a sage, has been kidnapped by the sorcerer, the same sorcerer you fought before. You need to rescue them before it's too late. Okay. This sage. Donna, what's this sage like? Are they like a teacher for you, or are they like a family member, or are they a grumpy old bugger, but the town needs them back? So,
I mean, it can be more than one of those things. I think I like a grumpy old bastard. But I think maybe maybe like a quasi-inventor, or maybe someone who used to do a lot of inventing but is now kind of retired into kind of a librarian sage role instead of magic artifacts kind of stuff. Grumpy, right? I think that's the irascible old man trope we're looking for.
I'm going to call him Angus. Right. Yep. He's not as nimble as he once was because too many of his inventions injured his limbs at some point. But, so Grumpy Angus. All right. So, yeah, the sorcerer kidnapped the sage, Angus, and fled to the ruins, which are north of town. I should have. Where's my map? There it is. Present. Share screen.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there's a deluxe. We're not cheap in
school here.
Alrighty, so the town's down the bottom, and it's so between you and them is a lake, or you can go via the forest, or try and climb the cliffs, or whatever. There's up to you.
Sorry, whereabouts are we?
You're down the bottom. You would be down here
in the marsh area.
In the middle of the bottom, basically. So you have to go across the lake or around the lake and through the forest, and the jagged bits are the cliffs. So it's steeper to come from this direction. So it's only like half a day, but yeah. Got to decide how.
There's a gap in the cliff on the right, isn't there?
Yes, you got to go around the lake a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, I think going round the lake's better because I can't swim in my armor.
I mean, I would have suggested the boat, but
Well,
we can go around. We can go around.
do you want to build it?
I mean, I wouldn't be above purloining a boat, but we would pay obviously, or hire, or just ask.
Yeah, I don't mind if I'm always up for a boat trip if somebody else is rowing.
If somebody else is rowing,
I've got to keep my eyes open for attackers.
fish.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, that
Spare
makes
us
sense.
some luck.
Who doesn't like fried mackerel, right?
That's a sea fish. This is a lake.
It's a lake.
so I
It's not a
thought.
really big sea. No.
I'll also point out Levine's like 3 times as strong as Edgar. Sheesh.
At least.
Yeah. All right, so you're going to go and look for a boat. All right.
Well, I imagine if we head towards the lakeshore, we can start walking. I guess I'm going to call it eastwards around the lake to go towards the gap. And if we find a boat along the way, then we haven't wasted any time.
Why did I think? Why did I never think that someone would look for a boat? All right. So this would be. I mean, there's got to be a fishing boat or something. All right.
Yeah, everybody on a lakeside owns a boat. If there's any habitation, I can't see a completely uninhabited lakeside.
Yeah, I'll get rid of them. Too many screens. My dice thing, and I forgot I need to roll in this game. Maybe 10. Okay. What's happening? Yes, there was someone there, and there's a fishing boat. So it's Edgar's older brother. I got Scottish names in my head today. It's Fergus.
That'll do.
Fergus. Edgar
the
Fergus.
Wright brothers.
All right. So your older brother Fergus is there fishing. He's got like a 2-person wooden boat with oars.
Okay.
He's probably got waders on doing like fly fishing, and the boat's just off to the side, I'm thinking, and it's cool breeze, overcast day.
Fergus. Hey.
Edgar,
is my friend. Levine. We're going to rescue Angus.
Oh. Better you than me.
Yeah. Can we borrow your boat? We need to get to the ruins.
He looks at Levine and looks back at you, and then looks back to Levine, and I don't think I could stop you. Sure. Try not to damage it.
Yeah.
Levine, are you gonna damage it if you sit in it?
Yeah, I'll hold my sword above the hull. Don't worry.
Going to stand impressively at the front of the boat with the sword out.
Just be a figurehead.
Edgar's frantically paddling at the back.
Yeah, I'm imagining like pure anime scene of Edgar like rowing, sweat pouring everywhere, moving barely.
Yep. I'll keep an eye out for serpents and leviathans.
in this tiny lake, which is not the sea.
Yes. You never know. This could be some residual dinosaur types.
It's like it's Nessie. To continue the Scottish theme.
Somehow it's more plausible to you that there's serpents of the deep in this tiny lake and not mackerel, huh?
All right. All right, Tristan. Roll a d10, please.
Sure. 2.
Okay. Yes, there are definitely like fish, probably carp, since it's colder, and as well as eels near the shore. But no leviathans, no Loch Ness monsters or anything like that.
Oh. Always looking for sword practice.
There'll be some, don't panic. Okay. My cat's come to pester me for food. Okay. Any questions so far?
Not yet. Oh, there was one thing.
Yep.
Damage becomes of the dark type. I don't understand what the dark type is.
It's like an element, whether it's like light, dark, fire, air, water, whatever.
Okay.
Some creatures are healed by dark. Some creatures are more damaged and susceptible to it. Like that would do extra damage against an angel, but pretty much nothing against an undead because it's dark magic.
Okay.
Same as fire would do nothing against a fire elemental, but hurt an ice elemental a lot. It's like an element type.
Yeah,
Shrieking eels. They're not that big. Ah, dear. Okay, so. All right, so you pull up your boat near the cliffs, or near at least as close as you can get to that gap. Through the reeds comes this creature that sort of floats down. It's probably about, hey, yay, there's no Americans, I can talk in metric. Yay! It's about 90 centimeters diameter. It's a sphere with a big central eye, and where there should be eyelashes is like teeth, because that's what the picture looks like. And then strangely tiny little bat wings on the back, which allow it to fly.
It's a gaseous eyeball with teeth.
Yes.
Okay. That definitely doesn't sound friendly.
You could make an insight and willpower check if one of you wants to. I mean, you can both do it, but yeah.
I think Edgar's the wiser of the two.
Okay, well, I'll try that out. Insight plus willpower. So that is... Sorry, add them together, is this?
Yeah.
Yeah, 12.
Yep, that's... Yep, this is a hex eye, they're called, and rumor has it they're created when a witch dies. Their eye evolves into this monstrous creature, which is impressive considering the size difference. But... and that said, I'll give you one chance to live. Sorry, it's more like, I'll give you one chance to live. So it's got a sort of raspy voice. And it says, never ahead, ever behind, yet flying swiftly past. For a child, I last forever. For an adult, I'm gone too fast. What am I? You can have a guess yourself, or you can make a roll if you've got no idea.
What what do we think, Levine? Is this time? Is this what I think? Is this time? It's time, right?
That's what I thought.
Oh, great. Yeah. Well, we should definitely say time then, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, what is your answer?
Oh, that's our answer. Time. Oh, you weren't listening in? Oh, okay. Privacy. Yeah, okay.
That would be rude.
Okay. Yeah. Well, fair enough. So can I ask you a question?
And it sort of looks sideways and okay.
How do those wings help you fly? Because they're really too small. Because like you're quite large, for those wings. Is it like magic? Are you magic?
Of course, it's magic.
Oh, okay. So the wings
What do
are
I-
just for.
Do I look
for
like a
coolers.
stable boy to you? Of course, it's magic.
Well, sometimes the answer is surprising. Maybe there's something else going on.
Powerful
Right.
muscles.
Yeah.
I work out. I try and keep myself trim. What are you trying to say?
Well, I just thought you were a windbag that could fly.
Are you trying to taunt it?
I mean, helium. Maybe there's lots of helium inside you. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, maybe the vitreous humor of the eye has been replaced with helium. That's amazing. Yeah, good thought, Levine. Yeah.
I'm supposed to freak you out, not the other way around. You people are strange. Anyway, you got the answer right. I'll go and find someone else.
Oh, okay. We're looking for a friend. I'm not sure if have you been to the ruins up there?
Not for a while. I have been there before.
Oh.
What happens to people who get the answer wrong?
I eat them.
Oh.
Do you?
That's disappointing.
That is. I'm not too happy about that.
Yeah, we have friends who aren't as smart as Levine in the neighborhood, and they would get that wrong, I guess.
Do you think we should help them preemptively?
Ooh, that's a conundrum, isn't it? Sorry, what do I call you? What's your name?
Magda.
Magda, yeah. I mean, could you promise not to eat people if they get your... I mean, maybe you can just be really disappointed in them and decry the downfall of our education system. Could you do that instead of eating them?
But then what am I going to eat?
Oh, well, I mean, fish. There's fish in this lake. Not mackerel, I'm assured, but, there's things.
I heard there was some sort of dinosaur or something that's been stuck here in this lake. Is that true?
I heard that too. Yeah. Very recently, in fact.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I was looking out for it the whole way.
Yeah, I heard it from you, Levine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I heard it from someone else too.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
All right, so
sense.
Magda says, okay. I'll think about it.
Okay. I mean, if we hear that you've been eating our friends, we'll be really upset. We'll be disappointed in you because you've been really nice to us.
It looks down as if it's been told off, and then just kind of floats off.
Oh,
dear.
what a nice old windbag.
Do we have to try and scale this cliff or something?
Oh. We should have asked Magda to help us fly to the top.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust those wings to support our weight.
But it's not the wings; it's magic. I think she might have just been lying about working out. Those wings were far too flimsy.
Yeah.
Wow, throwing shade. All right. So, this sage, who knew the sage? That was Edgar. Edgar, can you tell us like a sepia-toned memory of you and this sage, Uncle Angus?
I remember, or it's one of those memories that I'm not quite sure if I remember, but I remember being told a story, and I think I remember when I
Okay.
was about 2 or 3. I'm sitting. We see a young Edgar, identifiable by the spiky blonde hair, um, um, sitting sitting in the dirt, like working at this puzzle, which is like I guess like a rudimentary Rubik's cube, and a younger looking Angus stops by and kind of helps explain one of the strategies to complete the puzzle, and then like as he's walking away says, I made that, or I designed that. And there's like big manga eyes from Edgar going like, oh, I want to be like you when I grow up.
Okay. Oh, cool. Okay. Now, if you look at the left-hand side of your character sheets, there's bonds, and you can have like admiration, loyalty, affection, inferiority. You have an option if you can think of an idea of having a bond with each other. It could be, for example, Edgar has admiration for Levine because of her sort of battle prowess, or Levine has affection for Edgar because he's like a little brother or something, Obviously not hatred. That doesn't really work great in a two-player game, but yeah, if you can think of an idea. It could be loyalty because maybe in the fight against the sorcerer with the demonic imps, one of you saved the other one's life, so you owe them, sort of thing. You're loyal to them.
Yeah, I think the loyalty one was most likely. Loyal to Edgar.
I think I will go for. Sorry, it's not automatically symmetrical, right? We can have different.
No,
Yeah,
no,
okay.
you can have different ones.
I'm taking admiration because Levine always seems to have her shit together, right? Never ruffled, never upset.
Yeah.
Always together.
Right. And then if they, fail a roll, you can sort of use that bond to, like by one, you can to crank it up a bit. But to me, it could go either way. You can call on it either direction. Like the admiration one, Levine could call on it to say, "I'm not going to let him down because he admires me." But going the other way, it could go, I'm not going to let her down because I admire her. She deserves better, sort of thing. Either way, either one of you could call on that bond, sort of thing. It doesn't specifically state who's calling it, but to me, it makes sense. It can go from either direction. You've just got to role play what the thinking is. Okay. Right, we've done that bit. Yeah, I didn't hear from the other player, so I guess that's definitely not coming at this point. All right. So you were going to go. Where's this fantastic map? The hell? Wait for the StreamYard to wake up. Okay. So you were going to go on the right-hand side and go around the cliff's edge up the little gully. Okay, so you're coming on the eastern side of the cliffs. Okay. Is that right, or are you going to go straight up the cliffs instead?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, that was the whole point of using the boat, was going across the lake, so I thought we were going to go up the cliffs instead.
Yeah. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Yep.
Okay. No problem.
At the foot of one of the big ruins, I think.
Yep. So This would be might and dex, because it's dex for handholds and might for climbing. Is hard. I've done it. I did rock climbing when I was younger. It's a lot more physically taxing than people think.
Yeah, I've done a bit as well. Might and Dex. I'll give this a go.
Yep.
I've got D10 and D8. I got. Do zeros count as 10?
Yes.
Okay, sweet. I got 16 then.
Another 12 for me. 10 on the D10.
All right. So Edgar's having a bit more trouble than Levine, but you're succeeding. It's just taking Edgar a little bit more time. Maybe his limbs aren't as long, so he has to climb up a little bit slower. That's all right. So up the top of the ruins. What the hell did I say the ruins look like? So they were dark grey stone buildings, mostly collapsed. Some of them are big enough to rest in. There's jasmine growing on the southern side of each of the buildings. There's a cool breeze up the top of the cliff. The cliff's only, 50 meters tall, but it's high enough to, the breeze is colder up here. Into this section. Okay. And we'll say it's about an hour till sunset, so it's fairly cool. Not a lot of light.
Is it time to get a campfire going?
Well, we're not very far from this ruin.
Yeah, that would be a good place for a camp.
I mean, if there's nothing there, then we should claim it. or should we wait for daylight before we go into a spooky ruin?
No, I'm happy going in. We can set up camp in some old chamber.
Okay. Sounds good.
Hopefully uninhabited.
But not for long. Okay.
Yeah, not for long, because we're going there, right?
Yeah, obviously. All right, so you go into the ruins. What have we got for? All right, I'll get you both to roll insight and willpower, but decide which one of you is looking for danger and which one of you is looking for a good campsite.
I'm looking for the campsite.
I'm looking for danger, but I imagine because Lavina said it'll be fine. I'm probably doing something silly like knocking on the door or the door frame or whatever's left of the door in this ruins first, and then poking my head inside when no one answers. So yeah,
I've got 10 on the search for a campsite.
Yep. Ooh, I got 15 on my 2d8.
Okay. You find a good campsite. It's sort of blocked from two sides, so there's enough of a windbreak to sort of rest and get a campfire going. But Edgar goes, "Hey, there's something coming this direction."
Does it look friendly?
No, it looks like a giant multicolored jellyfish.
Okay.
But if you like jellyfish, then yeah, sure, it looks friendly.
So this is floating around, right?
Yes.
Another windbag?
Obviously.
Okay. They like floating around these things. Well, I haven't had enough sword practice today, so I'm quite happy to take it on.
I presume it's quite big, right?
Yes, yeah. It's
2
meters across and then another 2 meters on each tentacle.
We could always use it as tent material afterwards.
I was thinking we might hide in the ruin and then it won't be able to get to us.
You hide. I'll take it on.
No, you can't do that. I mean, I just thought it might be an idea to...
Well, I think it's just going to keep pestering us, so I'd rather be able to cook dinner in peace.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we see if it wants to attack and eat us.
Sure, I've got my sharp end of the sword at the ready.
Yep. Is Edgar going to sort of make his way around to the flank, or is he just going to hide behind?
I think I'm going to find a window, whether that's a nice kind of fire loop or something like that for my pistol,
Yep.
and probably have to change position as it floats in at an unexpected angle. But there's plenty of windows around.
No. It's something we don't get to do as often nowadays. We get to roll initiative.
Ooh.
So that would be, you just choose who's going to roll for your team, and it's Dex plus Insight.
Should I roll it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes more sense if you're, our frontline warrior, right?
All right.
Even if we're not being mechanically efficient.
I got 8.
It's the same as it, so all right. So yeah, it's a big purple and gold floating jellyfish. It says that every slithering tentacle is filled with a powerful neurotoxin. That sounds friendly. Also Australian. Okay.
It's a box jellyfish.
Yes, it's a floating box jellyfish. All right. So basically it'll be Levine, Monster, Edgar. Right. It's not making any. It's just making weird sort of vibrating sound as it floats towards you.
That's cool. B-movie sound effects. Do I get to whack it with a pointy stick?
Yes, you do.
Excellent.
So you've got
perform an attack with your greatsword.
Yeah, under equipment you can do just a great sword attack, or you could do your shadow strike ability.
Yeah, I'll use that. Does 6 additional damage. 4 or 5 hit points. Okay. That sounds like a good bargain.
Unless it's immune to dark, and then you bug it. But it's not. It's all right. Okay.
And it's Dex and Might +1. So let's just roll that one. 15 with +1.
Yep. And whichever one you rolled the highest on, add 10, and that's your damage.
Okay, that's 20 damage +6 for the shadow strike. 26.
Bam. All right. A palpable hit. Okay. Damage. Right, so you slice into this floating jellyfish thing. It's going, even though it doesn't have a mouth.
Still wibbling.
Yeah, still wibbling quite a bit. It's quite sizable, so it's going to lash out. Well, it hasn't sensed Edgar yet because he hasn't done anything, so it's going to lash out a couple of tentacles at you. What's your defense? Where is it? Your defense is 11 on the bottom top right. So, like dicing. So. Yoicks. I rolled terrible. So huge tentacles going swishing past, and you either, deflect them with your blade or dodge out of the way, but yeah.
Deflecting with your blade sounds like chopping them as they waft towards you, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's got 10 other ones, so
Yeah. It just looks cooler that way.
yeah. Okay, so it's waving tentacles frantically trying to get Levine. Edgar, what are you doing?
I guess I'm gonna open fire on this monstrosity who's attacking my friend.
Okay.
So accuracy
You
check
could do
is,
barrage, or you can just do a basic attack.
The barrage is to attack 2 creatures, so I think I'll just do a standard attack.
Okay.
Dex plus insight plus 1 is 12 total.
Yep, you definitely hit. And then whatever the highest dice is at 8.
So it was a 1 on the D8, 10 on the D10, so that is 18.
Bam. All right. That's at 3644 damage. Yeah. It's still up, but it's rather not well. Oh, mate. Okay, so no, it's still got to fight. It's probably lost 4 of its tentacles at this point. It's got a gaping wound on the side, but it's not. Yeah.
It's not biting the dust yet. Damn.
No. All right, it's Levine's turn.
Right. She's going to use another shadow attack because it's fun to deplete your hit points without taking any blows.
Okay. No, it is trying to move it back a bit, so it's harder for Edgar to get, like, it's trying to use a bit of cover so Edgar can't get a clean shot, but you're still in its face, I'm guessing, with your big ass sword.
I got 18 total.
Yep, that's fine, that hits.
And damage is 9 plus 10, 19 plus 6, 25.
Sheesh. Okay. That's pretty much. Bloody hell. That's enough to make it flee. You can still shoot it if you want, Edgar, but it's wibbling away at this point. It's got quite a bit of semi-transparent ooze stuff coming out of it. It's gaping gashes and holes. It's going further into the cliff area, so it's going north.
Okay. I'm inclined to let it go.
Yeah, I just hope it doesn't bring its mother back.
Cloud comes over the moon and this thing.
It's like calling the mother.
Though, actually, given that I was looking at my attack actions, I noticed one of my other things is a move. I'm not sure I should call it a move, called Study, which allows me to check to examine a creature, which I probably could have done when I was floating in, but...
You're pretty sure it's not edible, but...
There goes dinner.
I mean, I guess if it reveals species, maybe, or something like that, we might be able to tell if it's an adult or a baby. I'm not sure whether that helps us decide whether to attack it, because if it's a baby, I'm definitely not gonna, what do you think?
Yeah, give it a try. If it works.
Inside plus inside. Let me roll. That is a 14 on 2d8.
So what is this for?
So Study, on a 10 plus, it reveals species, maximum hit point, maximum mind point. And on a 13 plus, also reveals traits, attributes, defense, magic defense, vulnerabilities, and resistances.
Okay. It's called a Hydrozoa. It's a monster. It's vulnerable to electricity and resistant to cold.
Okay.
They're not generally intelligent. They're just, I want food.
Okay. Any idea whether it's like a fully grown adult or...
Yes, it looked like an adult.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not going to be calling mum on us.
Yeah.
Fair enough. We're not expecting a jellyfish boss fight.
I'm just hoping that jellyfish bosses are not like the Spanish Inquisition, right?
Well, no, they're more like Portuguese men of war.
I mean, like when we least expect it,
Okay.
Okay. Who was that? Levine. You had a feeling, you had like a brief vision that a sorcerer, the one who attacked the town recently, was watching your team. What did they say to you in this vision?
What, while I was fighting? Or
Yes.
was it,
Maybe as you were stopping, you were sort of watching the jellyfish thing wibble away. The vision, yeah.
He was saying, "Damn it, it's that pesky niece of mine." How does she always find my laboratory?
Dear. All right, we'll take a quick tea/bio break. Back in 5 or 10?
5 sounds good.
Yeah, 5's good for me.
All right.
Okay. What are you running any specific mysteries for Monster of the Week at the open weekend?
I've been working on and off on like a living city sort of setup for Munich, and I'm just going to take some bits out of that, and I think I'll run that because Monster of the Week's easy as piss. it's really not hard, so it's like, I'll just I can do that and not stress about what am I going to do for this game? It's like, no, I can do this. So, try and do something like either vampire or werewolf related to make it fit in with the whole Halloween vibe.
Did you ever get that Discord kind of asynchronous chat idea off the ground? Or?
No, I mean, I've made the Discord. I just haven't invited anyone to it. I've got a bunch of channels and everything, but it's hard to get people going in a game. But it's I tried a play-by-post game, but it was some of the people posting every day, and it's just like, there was just so much shit happening. It's like,
yeah.
It was feast instead of famine. But yeah.
Okay.
It's still a maybe. I'm not sure. Okay, so you. Oh yeah, the other thing is with your bombs on the left-hand side, you can have multiple ones. Like, for example, Levine might have inferiority for Edgar, thinking he can't fight for shit. And, every now and then does some inner monologue of like, I got to keep this kid alive. He's going to get us all killed. He doesn't know what he's doing. But
isn't inferiority the other way around?
Yeah, no, you're right. It would be Edgar saying, I'm not as good as Levine in combat. I don't want to get her killed. Why does she have to make us all look so shit? But yeah, you'd have to play with the right people, I guess, to get it without starting party hassles, I guess.
Yeah, there's no superiority complex on
Okay. So you can rest for a while in these ruins, either overnight or just have like a 3-hour nap or something?
I was going to start a fire and maybe cook up some rations or whatever we're carrying.
Mackerel, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably tinned mackerel.
Okay. So if you rest for 3 hours, you get 20 hit points and mind points back. Does it matter?
Oh, sweet. That gives me all my hit points back.
Oh, it is mind points. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be using any mind points for a while. It doesn't seem to come in handy for Levine.
No, but if you're like elementalist or ritualist or whatever, you're just using them constantly.
Yeah, I figured as much.
But yeah, I quite like the different class combinations. You can do some pretty cool stuff and have it look like what you like. Like you could have sharpshooter and elementalist, but you say what people see is me throwing around tarot cards and doing tarot magic sort of shit. It's up to you to skin it how you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's now like 9 or 10 at night. The moon's up. It's crescent moon, occasional clouds going across the sky. Cold. Okay. Yep. So, you going to keep resting, or are you going to start looking through the ruins?
Well, look through the ruins, I guess. Is it still daylight?
No, it's night time. It's like 10 at night now.
Well, what do you reckon, Edgar? Wait till daylight?
Well, I mean, if daylight arrives, we'll probably want to be on the move and find out where Angus is. So,
explore the ruins by night. Okay, I've got a torch handy. I made a good brand out of the leftovers of the fire.
Excellent.
Let's check out these ruins by spooky torchlight.
It's the best time. Okay. So this seems like Dex and Insight, because you're trying not to make noise, but you are trying to look around.
So one of us, or both of us, or what do you think?
But yeah, is one leading and the other one just kind of blindly following, or are you both sort of actively looking? And
I'm happy to lead.
okay.
So what did you say? Dex plus Insight?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So 11.
11. Okay. Yeah, you can hear some noise over to the northeast a bit. It sounds like two people talking, but you can't make out the details yet.
Well,
Probably other adventure.
Indicate to Levine, that we hear something ahead, and creep as silently as I can to maybe see if we can catch what they're talking about.
Okay, so that's Dex and Dex to do it without getting noticed.
Dex and Dex, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So that is 2d10, which you'd imagine. Oh, well, no. I almost spoke too soon, but it got me anyway. 8 is my total.
8?
Yeah.
All right, so you're creeping up fairly quietly, and then you bump into something, and some rocks topple over. now. So they've seen you. They haven't seen Levine at this point. So you're...
Yeah, I suppose I will. Well, I will have to step out and say, "Oh, hello."
So this
I
your
thought
uncle...
I thought I was alone in this ruin.
Your Uncle Angus is there. There's the... He's in like a prison that's made of bars made of lightning. There's the sorcerer who had the demonic imps. And him and your uncle are arguing about... There's like a pot. And one of them's like, "Look, Edgar, we're glad you're here. You can help us." He reckons these are mackerel. I'm telling him these are eels. What are they? And there's some fish in the cauldron.
Well, I don't think they're mackerel because we're so far from the sea. We only get canned mackerel here. So I mean, I'd imagine they're eels without even looking at them. What's Angus doing behind the lightning? That looks...
Oh, he's my prisoner.
Yeah, but like, why is he your prisoner?
Are you going to creep closer, Levine, or are you just staying back waiting for Edgar's signal? Or
I'm creeping closer, but hoping to stay unobserved still.
So that would be
I've
Dex
doused
and
my
insight in your case,
right?
because you can take your time. You can hear talking.
Got 10.
All right. You're not being super quiet, but you're not making a lot of noise either.
Is my chatter helping?
Yes, because there's an active conversation. If okay.
I'm just not sure I can stick a sword through a lightning cage
Well,
without
see what we
frying
can do
myself.
about disabling that, right?
If there's a battery pack somewhere.
You could stab it. Okay. So, yeah, so the sage, your uncle, he's in a prison with lightning bars. There's no roof on it, but obviously he can't grab onto the bars to vault out or anything because they're made of lightning. So the sorcerer guy, you think Levine knows who it is, but unless you talked about it, you don't know who it is. But yeah, that's definitely the sorcerer that summoned the demonic imps to attack the town like several weeks ago.
Oh, it's my pesky uncle.
Yeah, the sorcerer is the uncle, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or have I gotten that mixed up?
That's right.
Yeah. Well, the sorcerer may be Levine's uncle. The sage is Edgar's uncle.
Okay.
Angus, the grumpy old former inventor.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll step closer because I'm in the conversation and I need to get a look at these eels or possibly mackerel. And I'll maybe use that as an opportunity to look at the whatever's keeping the lightning in this prison format.
I'm just looking at a picture of Atlantic mackerel. They're nothing like eels. Oh, dear.
Well, who says inventors need to know anything about fish?
Yes.
I mean, I certainly don't. So that's a step up. All of the fish knowledge is in my older brother's head, right?
So you're trying to have a look at this prison. It's probably insight and willpower. Mate. Oh no, you've got a study ability, haven't you?
It's for a creature, though.
I'll allow it for this because it's
Okay. We'll have to hand wave some of these things, but maybe the magic defense, vulnerabilities, resistances thing will make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me roll insight plus insight to the 8. Oh, 15.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. Well, it's electrical, so anything metal should diffuse part or all of it. If you want to try and put down one side and put something metal in to block the beams going up or something. Of course, it might zap it away, but
yeah. So not say Levine's suit of armor with her inside. That would be
no, that would be very painful for Levine. That may cook her.
Okay. So I guess I'll have a look in the barrel.
They are mackerel.
Mackerel. Yep. Mackerel. I was wrong. You were right. How did you get a barrel full of mackerel up here?
Oh,
Sorry. Is it like a packed barrel of like salted mackerel, or is it like a barrel full
no.
of water
There's
with
mackerel
them
swimming around inside this cauldron.
That's what I thought, but then I said, "Oh yeah, a barrel of mackerel." It could be either of those two things. So yes,
Okay.
how did you get a barrel full of mackerel swimming around up here?
Well, I can change shape, don't you know?
You can change shape.
I think we're going to have to name this sorcerer Bertram. Bertram, the sorcerer, says he can change shape. And he turns
You can change shape into a mackerel.
Oh, I can change shape into lots of things, but
No.
But what's important? Look, what I brought, you know,
I don't
what
believe that. Come on, Bertram. That sounds implausible. I mean, we've seen a lot of things on this side of the lake, but you being able to turn into mackerel, no, not having it.
I don't believe you have a bullshit ability. You just generally relying on general human ability to bullshit, which is fine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is insight and willpower. You're trying to trick him into shapeshifting.
I mean, if you were to turn into a mackerel right now and join the barrel full of mackerel, that would be
incredibly
salty.
stupid, but you know,
Yeah.
human ego and all that.
It's an 11.
Yeah, he's like, I can, and I'll show you in a minute. But
okay.
I needed to talk to you and your. This is your uncle, isn't it? This Angus guy, yeah.
He is my uncle. Yeah.
Yeah. So the village is run by priests, right? They've got no idea. They don't know what they're doing. They pray to the gods whenever anything needs to get decided. It's rubbish. My plan is I'm going to be the king, right? We'll get things. I'll change things. It's going to be better. We'll make decisions based on reality and not praying to the crowds or any of that rubbish. We're just going to, I'm going to be the king. We're going to make things better. You could sign on to the winning team. Could be, a barony in it for you if you're interested.
But like a kingdom of the village. So like, would it be the barony of the inn? Is that what we're thinking?
You need to make. Actually, no, because I'm actually doing an attack on you. So, what is your mental defense? It should be at the top right.
Magic defense?
Yeah.
Okay, 11.
11. Okay, so you feel like his words trying to infiltrate your mind, but you fight them off because you think, no, this doesn't feel or sound right. Which you kind of roleplayed anyway. Because but there's like a magic behind his words, sort of thing. And
so yeah, I guess what I'm gonna do is while we're having this conversation, I'm kind of moving like to the side so that Levine, when she enters, will be kind of out of his line of sight if he's looking at me.
Yep. She can flank him and just charge in.
And yes, I am continuing the conversational bullshit to keep his attention.
Well, I'm not going to make you roll for that. You can do that. Levine, you want to do something?
Yeah, I think I'll try and get an attack in on Uncle Bertram because it
okay.
like, he needs he needs stopping, especially as he's got Angus prisoner.
You're not going to charge in, kick over the cauldron there. These are eels!
No. I'm not going to bother with the fish. There are bigger fish to fry.
This is Sparta, but this is eels. These are eels is a completely new one on me.
All right, so you're going to charge in. He's not aware you're there, so
Sweet.
You can basically win the initiative. I won't get you to roll. Yep.
Just a regular attack.
Yep.
To cudgel my uncle. What did we have? Dex and might. That's pathetic. I got 8. I must have tripped on a rock. Shit.
Talk to me about helping, Blake.
Okay. I mean, with your bond, you know, it only goes up 1, which is weird because with the Fabula points, if you invoke your trait, like your identity, your theme, or your hope, you get a reroll on one of the dice. But if you want to invoke a bond, you just get like 1 point to change the roll. So it's like the narrative currency of the Fabula point is a lot less for doing a bond instead of a trait.
Yeah. I mean, Tristan, you could use one of those to do a reroll, right? On your worst die.
Fabula point.
A Fabula point.
I could turn the trip into an amazing lunge with my sword. That could be way more damaging.
Well, hang on. You've got Princess Without a Kingdom.
I've got Princess Without a Kingdom.
And your uncle is trying to steal this kingdom from you, right? Your rightful heir, or something.
Ooh. I didn't see the Princess Without a Kingdom thing. Where's that hiding?
Top right? Sorry, top left. Just under your stats says traits and identity, Princess Without a Kingdom. So you could say something about this is my kingdom or whatever. And
yep, I think it's definitely time for you robbed me of my birthright, you swine, Uncle Bertram. Shtick. And that's all while tripping on a rock and wielding a sword in the right direction.
All right, so maybe you're trying to get your right footing and you're staggering around the cauldron of happy mackerel. So you can re-roll one of your dice for your attacks as you get your footing into a better position.
Re-roll one of the dice?
Yes. Actually, no, it's one or both. So it's up to you.
I'll re-roll both because they were both pretty poor.
Because if you fail again, it's just shit. it's yeah.
Oh, that's really poor. I got 6 this time.
Yoicks.
I think it's raising a sword against kin is still weighs heavy on her heart.
Maybe you like deliberately miss because you're like, you know, I've warned you about this before, sort of thing. Okay, Edgar, you notice the amulet with the sunburst amulet is kind of vibrating in your pocket or on your chest if you're wearing it.
Yeah, I'm sure it's around my neck. Is it like unusual, or does this mean like, oh, you've been attacked by some strange magic?
It's something odd's going on. It doesn't normally vibrate.
Well, I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna take off my my bag and start. It seems unusual to be completely ignoring Levine's attack in this regard, but I'm taking stuff out of the bag and I'm looking for something useful that might disable the lightning barriers. And maybe Uncle Bertram just thinks I'm an oblivious idiot to this, armored monstrosity who's attacking me.
You've got 8 inventory points. I'm happy to just say, like, if you want to pull a mirror out or something metallic to help diffuse the electricity, then yeah, we can just say that costs 1 or 2, depending on how big you want it.
Yeah, I think maybe something like like a magnet maybe that would help like create this curve in the lightning that
Yeah, all right. So that'll be 2 added because your inventory points are narrative currency like dungeon rations in Dungeon World. It's up to you to use them how you want. So sure, you can have a big magnet. That makes sense for a tinker to have.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that. Okay. So Uncle
What is
Bertram,
crazy Uncle Bertram up to?
he's changing form into a red dragon. Now, it's about 10 meters long, so it's not like huge, but it's big enough to be shit your pants time.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's not building size, but it's house size.
Just wondering if there were any secret things I could use on my sheet.
Yep, let's have a look. Da-da-da-da-da.
Protect.
Well, that'll stop Edgar getting harmed or whatever, if you want to use that at any point. But
Yeah, I think so.
you just use Shadow Strike for now.
Yeah, I guess so. It's only useful when he's under attack. All right, so Shadow Strike it is then. I'll definitely go after this red dragon. It seems more likely to hit a red dragon than Uncle Bertram in his regular human form.
Yeah.
Pants. I got 8.
Wow.
It's just underwhelming. I mean, I can hit jellyfish, no problem, but Uncle Edgar. I mean, Uncle Bertram.
Well, I mean, he's not actually dodging while he's changing form and that, so that's fine. I can say you hit on this occasion because it's not regular combat. He's just getting bigger at this point.
Well, the total would only be 15 then.
Damage.
Yep.
Okay. So 15. That's right. 15 damage. Okay. It's going to try and bite Edgar.
Oh no.
Well, it can't eat the mackerel now. It tipped them over when it shapeshifted. What's your defense, Edgar?
My defense is 13.
Oh, so it sort of snaps at you, but just missed. But you felt it's...
I think what happens here is that I slip on one of these flapping mackerel brands.
and it bit above where you were standing.
Yeah.
All right. Edgar, it's actually your go now. What would you like to do?
I guess have we created this gap in the lightning barrier enough?
Well, you can do that now
Angus
if you like with the magnet.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm going to get Angus out of there.
Now just slide the big magnet over. There's enough of a gap. It disrupts it enough for him to get out. And we're back to Levine.
Right. Definitely time for a swing.
Bertram / the Drake is saying, don't be fools. You can rule the kingdom together.
Up yours, it's all mine. I got 4.
Wow, that's impressively bad rolling.
Oh, do doubles count for anything in failed rolls? Because I thought the doubles.
If it's both 1, it's a critical failure.
Okay.
But if it's a double and above 6, then it's a critical success.
Yeah. I haven't rolled any doubles apart from missing.
Okay.
Spectacular.
Right. It's going to do... it's going to breathe at its pesky niece because she's trying to chop it for some rude reason. All right, so my plus willpower is that. So 16, yep, and you get... Oh, hang on, that's it. Yoicks. You get 23 points of damage from fire getting cooked. And this is Levine. gets 23 points of fire damage. It's just your
Oh,
uncle
shoot.
breathes fire on you.
Right, I'm pissed now, so I'm definitely going to get my own back.
You've never seen me very upset, is what is going through Levine's head right now.
Yeah, I've got a theme of guilt. There's something I cannot forgive myself for. I'm wondering what that's going to be. And whether it involves my uncle.
Well, I mean, maybe he sold out your parents or he ripped them off or whatever.
Yeah, I probably helped sign the deal that enabled him to gain power, and wrote my parents off as mentally unstable or something.
Yeah, so they got taken to an institution. He got all the family's money, and
yep, that's probably it.
Yeah. All right. So if you can do a re-roll if you want and use a Fabula point, because the villain arrived, so you would have both gotten a Fabula point then. So you would have none left, and Donna would have one, because I don't think you've used one yet, Donna.
I used one, so I thought I had 0. Is there a spare one knocking around?
You start with 1, and then you got a new one when the villain rocked up. So you've got a spare one. You can use one to re-roll.
I'll use the spare one for a re-roll, because 4 is just not good enough. Oh, I can't believe it! I got double 3 this time. That's
critical, right? a double of 6 or higher, right?
Oh, is that?
Well,
no, but I thought it was a double 6 rather than.
Well, yeah. Normally, you're supposed to make a speech about why you're guilty, and then you make the roll. So if you want to do it, I'll let you.
What? So double 3 counts as 6 or above?
No. I'll let you re-roll that roll if you make a speech about why you're guilty to your uncle or whatever.
Okay. Well, I've been feeling bad about having my parents institutionalized since I was a teenager, and my uncle talked me into it. He made up all this evidence about things that they'd been doing to the kingdom, and I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And I've just been seething with rage about my uncle's betrayal ever since he's been ravaging the kingdom with his new policies.
I think the sage Angus was like, well, now you can make it right with your sword. Roll your dice.
It's like not a double 1. Fuck, I got 8.
All right. 8 will hit in this case, to be big, and he's coming right for you.
The damage is 18 then. And that would be a shadow strike as well then. That's a little bit more.
Yep.
That's 24.
Okay. All right. It's going to try and bite his niece because he's annoyed at you now. He's ignoring Edgar at this point. 14. So 14 points of damage as it bites Levine.
All right.
You must be. Are you below half health?
Not quite.
Okay. That's what you got a shitload to start with. All right, Edgar, what are you up to? Your uncle's out of the lightning cage.
Okay.
The dragon thing, it seems to be ignoring you. You can.
I mean, I can shoot it in its back, or at least I can draw its attention to me and shoot it in its front. You know, that seems
the amulet's vibrating frantically.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if I can have like a side conversation before my real action, and be like, why is it doing this? And maybe maybe Angus will have some clue for me. But yeah, I'm gonna shoot the dragon. So Dex plus Insight +1. That's 11.
So you're shooting it?
Yep.
Yep. That'll hit.
So that'll be 16 damage.
Oh, nice. Okay.
I've got your attention now, evil sorcerer.
Um, um, your uncle yells out, that's the famed amulet of blah 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 dragon slayer. Touch the amulet on the dragon.
Oh, right. How did I not know that? I suppose I better do that. So
It'll turn him into a mackerel.
Oh dear. Okay. Yeah, well, we're back around to Levine.
All right, sweet. I can't roll doubles again this time. I can't believe it. I've got 4, 5. She's permanently incapable of hitting this damn dragon. It's got very slippery scales. That's what it is.
Now, I'll just check you are rolling a D8 and a D10.
I'm rolling a D8 and a D10.
Yellow. Okay, cool. I think you're rolling a 2D6 or something stupid. All right. Okay. Yeah, you've missed. Basically, it's hard. Its scales are too hard. But of course, you can try and talk to it instead. Try and persuade it out of not eating you or whatever.
No, I'm determined to beat the crap out of my uncle, so I'm gonna stick it out.
Fun family tradition. Okay.
I will kill you, Uncle Bertram. I will kill you.
in lieu of a session with a psychiatrist, and
you had my
assault
parents
will-
locked up when I was a teenager, you bastard.
All right, it's going to try and bite Edgar. Give me another. Oh, what was your defense, Edgar?
13.
So how does it miss you this time? How does it just miss you this time?
I think maybe when it comes in with its jaws for bite, the amulet kind of flashes and kind of, momentarily kind of blinds it in a way that it just kind of veers off to one side, and I get an earful of brimstone.
It just for the briefest second touch the amulet. You temporarily got 20 hit points, and it suffers 20 hit points as it transfers it to you.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty handy.
That is pretty handy.
All right, it is now your go.
I mean, I guess if I were heroic, I would do something like, tear the amulet off and, smite it. But I think what I'm going to do instead is just, hug it and make contact with the amulet that way.
The hug of death. Excellent. I like it.
Okay. Okay, so Butcher's like, what the hell are you doing? Ah, that hurts! Ah! And he turns back into, human form, and he's sort of writhing on the ground like a bug that's been hit with fly spray.
So I'll stand up and look at Levine, because I'm sure
Somewhat burnt.
there's a painful moral choice to that'll be the lesson for the week here.
Sorry, is it Levine's attack?
Well, the the amulet badly burnt the dragon and turned back into Uncle Bertram in human form.
Mm-hmm. So
And
now
it's
it's
just
my
kind of-
time to strike.
Well, he's down on the ground. He's not actually fighting anymore.
Oh,
But you can behead him if you want, or knock him unconscious. So
I'll try and knock him unconscious, but what is
There's a
required?
lightning cage we could put him in, right?
Oh, that's true. Can we close it again?
yeah, just move the metal
fiddle with
stuff
the
away.
magnet thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try that.
In his best Palpatine voice, he's going, "No, no."
Do I need to roll anything, or
No, you can just put him in there.
Excellent. That's cool. So get in the cage, Uncle Bertram. You deserve this. You're going to see justice, and you're going to be trailed through the streets like this.
Like Gaddafi. Okay. But more importantly, next to the cage is a treasure chest.
Excellent.
Achievement unlocked.
Yep.
And I really want to know what's inside, obviously.
All right. There is a vest made by Edgar's grandma. It's a granny vest. As long as you're wearing it, your willpower's treated as if it's the next dice up. It's like a nice cardigan vest thing that your grandma made, but it actually increases your willpower while you're wearing it.
Nice.
This is what you get told to wear whenever you complain about it being too cold, you know.
There's a wind dancer, which is like a blade from Troll, since we're all old enough to remember that movie.
Cool.
And basically, it does damage, but it also, if they have resistance to any damage, that's ignored. This thing ignores resistances.
That's mine. Always wanted one of those. It's like daftly big shurikens.
There's a manifesto called The King Am I by Gimme the Crown. It's all about how monarchies are better than every other rulership type, and yeah, how to make yourself king. It's a self-help book.
So he had an inferiority complex after all.
Mm.
He definitely wasn't king material. He had to study up on it. Okay. I knew my uncle was a sham. Right, so a wind, what is it called? A wind blade?
Wind dancer.
A wind dancer.
Yeah.
What are we going to do, Edgar?
Well, I suppose we bring this villain to justice, and
Do you think we should take him to justice down the cliff? Or take the long way around?
Maybe my uncle and I can make some kind of contraption that will get him down safely.
I just want to make you roll for this because it'd be funny if it fails.
Well, yeah, I can't stop you. You've always been so clever with your hands. I've always admired you for your contraption building skills.
We've come up with some lightning resistance orb or something. I don't know.
All right. So I guess this would be...
Is this to roll to see if Edgar can make a contraption that will take him safely down the mountain or not?
Yep. This is to be insight and insight in this case.
Inside.
And this...
Okay, let me roll. That's an 8.
Yeah, you don't have enough. It wouldn't support his weight. He would just fall through. it wouldn't actually
Okay.
carry him. It could traverse a cliff, but it's not strong enough.
So we might have to just haul him in a cart the long way home, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We could try king bobbing.
What?
Like witch bobbing, but for kings.
Okay.
If he sinks, he's the genuine king.
And if he floats, he's not.
All right. All right, so you march him back down the cliff the long way.
All right.
So, yeah, he's like, come on, we don't have to do this. We could still work the kingdom together. We can run it better, make the world a better place. Get rid of these stupid priests, don't know what they're doing.
You can say that to the law courts.
Oh, actually, he rolled really well.
Oh yeah, I forgot about his magical charm attack thing.
What was that, to convince us to join him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not going to change your minds, but it hadn't make you stop moving, and it occurs to you that maybe he has a point. You can change your thoughts after that, but it's made you stop and at least put that thought in your head.
Yep. So we've paused briefly in our journey back to justice, but we didn't change our mind yet. Is that right?
Yeah. Are you going to say anything to him while he's spouting all this, monarchy is the way to go? And
I'd love to believe you, Uncle, but you never saw my parents suffering in the stinky jail that they ended up in, did you? That was your sister, Did you ever visit her once?
No, I didn't have time.
Didn't think so. So, yeah, tell me more about monarchy being the way to go. Just you slimy old men lusting for power.
But that's enough about the Tory party, but anyway. All right. See, you resist his verbal advances and get him back to town. Ta-da! And there you go. You rescued your friend. And there you go. That's a quick sort of overview of Fabula Ultima for you.
Awesome.
Any questions, comments? Obviously, there'd be more interaction if there's more people in the party and whatever, and it would take longer because whenever you have only a couple of players, things go really quickly because there's no arguing.
Yeah, I don't know if it would work with really daft icons, pixelated icons, like on the Roll20 platform. Just so you've got a visual key for each scene or something.
I could do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's a derivative of video games, and the video element maybe needs to be brought out, at least for, I don't know, 1 or 2 scenes or something like that.
Yeah, good.
I mean, the illustration in the book doesn't seem to capture that in some instances. I think it looks sort of washy fantasy art style. But I mean, the stuff you showed me, the screen grab of the game looks more like how it should be, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
So, like pixel style artwork is quite easy to source. And there are enough daft monster designs out there.
Oh yeah. Just so you can see, this is Octopath Traveler I've been playing recently. but you can see the character style looks a lot like classic Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And that's
I was trying to remember a game I played a couple of years ago, which was mechanically very, computer role playing game with lots of buffs and combo attacks and all that kind of stuff.
yeah.
It was like a necromancy game. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, I was kind of expecting that kind of mechanical experience with this, but it seemed much more
Okay.
kind of cortex-y or something,
Yeah, you can do a fair bit of damage quite quickly, but I guess part of that is because we're starting at 5th level and you've got a fair few abilities or whatever.
Yeah.
It's because most of the foes had like 100 hit points, but it's like, and unless they're like a golem, I'm not going to have them fight to the death. They're going to piss off at some point. But there are quite a few abilities that give buffs on like elemental resistance and that, but I didn't want to drag the combat on too long when there's only 2 players. It's like I'd rather do that for like a fight where you've got 5 players against the big boss.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to focus on the social element of the game over the combat, because the combat is going to be quite... it's not going to approach the computer.
No. Well, there's a lot more rolling in it than because I've been doing PBTA for so long. It's like, oh, shit, I've actually got to make some rolls here.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, it's good. I like it. But it's...
Yeah, I'd like to see how it works out in I don't know, different locations, I guess.
Yeah.
So it would be fun to field test it a bit more.
What I was thinking was there obviously some of those abilities that we have work for multiple people, either like multiple friends or multiple foes. So I guess there'll be different some different mechanical flavor if we were in a different situation. So yeah, that's just one thing that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd also like to see it with adaptations of classic video games. So you played it with the characters from the game and play against type, or
you could do that.
Play 2 type.
I mean, I'm quite fond of the Fairy Tale anime, and I ran through making up 5 of the characters with the system just to help me get my head around the game. And I was like, oh, these actually worked out pretty close to what's in the stories. Well, obviously, in a longer series, your identity, Princess Without a Kingdom, we would weave that into the story, and the same with your theme of guilt or whatever. They're not just prompts for rerolls; they're supposed to be linked to the story.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I think that's good mechanically if you've got those prompts. How many of them are there?
Just 3. Everyone has like identity, theme, and origin. But then you've got bonds, and you can say, make up a past event and say this is why you have this bond.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a fun system. Yep. Whoops.
You can still hear you, it's just the camera dropped out.
Yeah, it was just the mouse. I hit the mouse by accident and it switched off. Must have been hovering on that spot from earlier. Yeah. It would be also fun to try and do some anime movies as a scenario.
Okay.
I don't know, Ninja Scroll or something like that.
I was just thinking, I don't know, that might be hard because most of them are pretty high power. They might be 10th level or something, but you have to hold your arms out when you jump backwards into trees and stuff. Dear.
Yeah, if you could adapt something, what would you adapt? Would it be a video game or a animation?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you've already done the Fairy Tale one, but if there was anything,
yeah. Because I mean, there's Lodos War, but Lodos War is straight up D&D.
Yeah,
it's just it's ridiculously. It's more D&D than most D&D cartoons, but yeah, you could certainly say we're using this setting, and here's some pre-gens. Because the pre-gens we use are straight out of the book, but
Yeah, coming up with the pixelated characters would be fun. But then you'd need the illustrated counterparts for the manual version as well.
Well, you can do that. It's easy enough to Google that sort of stuff.
Yeah, thanks for